Well, first, I'd like to say thank you to everyone for coming. And, it's an exciting time. It's an exciting time for me as the head coach for the U.S. Olympic team. It's exciting to be the head coach of athletes that are actually going to the Olympics with me. Old Miss, it has 7 athletes, I believe, present and future, that are traveling. Very exciting, and I'm excited to be a part of it. Going into the NCs and then going into the trials, for me, in my opinion, both of them were expected to be traveling down there with me. So it doesn't feel any different than it did before we started.
What's different about Raven from when you first got her freshman year at Southern Illinois to today? Technique-wise, and I guess apparently.
Well, you know what? I'll say she's grown up a little bit. She doesn't say I'm just a kid anymore. But her technique keeps getting better and better. Her strength gets better, and she just becomes she's more familiar with her turning in the circle and where she's at, and she's always had a great determination. So that hasn't really changed at all.
When you got her freshman year last year, did you think, hey, 2016, she could be heading to Rio, or what was your thought process then?
I mean, well, she thought she'd be heading to Rio, and she had that determination. So, when they feel it, you got to feel it too. And she worked really hard, and her, I don't know what her ceiling is, and she just kept getting better and better each time. So,
I was going to ask, she's a sophomore. She's pretty young in terms of Olympic age. I mean, that bodes well, I guess, for maybe 2020 down the road, I guess you could say.
She is young, and fortunately for throwers, we have longevity in the sport, and we can go for a really long time, and she has a long future ahead. So,
do you think gold is possible this year?
I don't know about that. I wouldn't count anything out.
Raven, do you feel any different now that you actually are on the team, and even if you were expected to go, does it feel different now that you're on it?
Really, I'm just excited about it. It really doesn't feel any different because I don't want it to change my work ethic at all. Maybe just pushing myself a little bit harder to try and see, amongst the best in the biggest competition of the next 4 years where I can rank myself. So really just trying to push forward and keep going as strong as I have been, all season long.
Raven, describe the moment in Eugene when you realized you were going to be able to represent your country in Rio.
It was I was really shocked. Sitting in, I was still first, and, the throwers kept going by. And, even on Michelle's last throw where she won, I basically just started crying at the fact that, I noticed, like, I'm an Olympian. Not many people can say that who are athletes, but just to finally see that all of my work had paid off in that one split moment, it brought me to tears.
What's different from your freshman year at Southern Illinois to today? What's changed technique-wise? What's changed off the I guess, pit-wise?
Well, technique-wise, I've definitely learned how to use my legs a lot better. Being 5'5", that's something that I really had to do. When you're competing against people that are 6 foot plus. So that in itself was one of the big things for me. Just learning how to use my strength into my throw, and outside of the ring really is just growing up. It's just a challenge going into college and being a freshman and making freshman mistakes and still having that expectation of being a student athlete and trying to rise to your potential and things like that. So I've grown up a lot.
Gwen, just for you, what does it mean to you to become an Olympian? And also, you've been as coach with Coach Smith, but now you're going as one of her athletes
Right.
in Rio. So, what's that dynamic like for you?
It's a good feeling. I had confidence in myself that I would make the team. I wasn't as happy as everybody else probably because I know I didn't have my greatest performance, but I'm really grateful. And, working with Coach Connie and growing up with her, because, I was her athlete at Southern Illinois. So coming here and being able to train and help, all the rest of the student athletes like Raven, do a lot. No, it's just a good feeling. I'm glad to have, a couple of teammates, go with me there. It's a good feeling.
How do you balance coaching and training? It's gotta be a tough balance.
It's not really tough, honestly, just because, I train with them as much as possible, And you know, the students listen. The student athletes really listen. They take in, you know, everything you say. You know, you give them advice. You know, they keep you pumped. They keep you motivated. I mean, because you gotta think, I'm 27 and she's like 20, not even that. So it's like, you know, if she can make it, you know, I need to make it too. Hell, you know. She keep me on my P's and Q's. So I mean, we both motivate each other, and it's easy. It's not hard at all.
For all three, is there anything that you've kind of like circled, a couple things that you circled that you really want to do while you're down there, or is there something that you're looking forward to more than anything else?
Well, what I'm looking forward to is those two getting out there and competing to the best that they can on the days that they compete. So, and having a good time doing it. So.
Yeah.
I mean,
Go ahead.
for me, it's really just been about performance. This has been the goal coming down. You know, when we thought about Rio, it was being in the Olympic Stadium in those rings rather than, you know, being outside of the competition. I mean, you know, as maybe once we get down and we're probably playing a few things, but really just go out there and get some PRs.
Yep.
That's a question for both you ladies. I know it's you're there with one mindset to compete, but is there anyone that would make you starstruck, like any fellow Olympians? Maybe you saw Michael Phelps or one of the basketball players.
I am definitely looking forward to seeing Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. But besides that, you know, I'm gonna focus on myself and what I gotta do. But you know, opening ceremonies, I'm definitely getting a picture.
I feel like I'm really gonna have to clear all my space in my phone for all the pictures that I have to get. But I'd say Serena Williams would be my number one person. I've actually been going through the USA team and looking at people whose autographs and pictures I probably have to print out before I head down there.
That kind of answers what I was going to ask, but I know some athletes come different times, people and everything. But are y'all all going for opening ceremonies and everything like that, or are y'all going different times?
We'll all go down for opening ceremonies, and then they'll leave after their competition. And of course, I'm there for the duration.
Yeah, I still have the student part of the whole athlete thing.
I just don't want to stay that long.
Coach Smith, are you going to try to maybe connect with some of these other Ole Miss athletes? If the ones maybe you don't, I would think you may know, obviously Brittany and a few others, but
Yeah.
any of the others that you don't know, kind of use it as a recruiting tool, or just kind of say, hey, I'm here and we'd love to have you back, that kind of thing?
Well, you know what? Most of all of them I've spoken to in track and field about coming back for our cross country meet. But yeah, you know, I know all of them, and I'm good friends with all of them, and talk to them on every time I see them when we're competing. So my goal is to actually try to get a picture for Joey of all of us together and send it back.
Do you know of another school that's had this many? I mean, I know it's probably happened, but
Yeah.
just to have, especially, you know, just this 1 year to have 7 and 8 right there.
I think there are quite a few schools that have numbers like that, if not more. So.
What does it mean, kind of jumping off of that, to have the kind of representation you have, established star in Brittany and kind of up and coming with Raven, kind of having on both ends of the spectrum? It's got to be proud for you representing Ole Miss like that.
Absolutely. You know, Ole Miss has great tradition. And one of my goals when I came here was to keep building on that tradition. And so I feel like that I've started doing that with having Raven going and Gwen going. And it's just great to be able to go and represent the United States and to represent Ole Miss at the same time.
Coach, I know I've asked you about this before, but with the Zika virus, I mean, there's athletes dropping out, especially men golfers are dropping out. Any concerns about that? What's kind of been said to you from the U.S. Olympic Committee about the whole thing?
Yeah, and I don't really have any concerns about it, and I feel like the USOC and the doctors have all prepped everybody, and that everybody should be well educated on what could happen or can't happen. So,
Have they said anything about other stuff going on in Brazil? There's a lot of other
Mm-hmm.
things going on. I mean, I know y'all will be in the Olympic Village and kind of secluded from that, but have they mentioned any other things that might be troublesome?
not anything that might be troublesome. You know, the one thing that I'll say about going down to Rio is, as track athletes, we travel kind of all over the world. So we always expect the unexpected, and there's always risk with traveling wherever we go. So I think that everybody that's going down there is well prepared and okay with it.
After the trials, just for you as a coach for the women's side, how do you feel about the U.S. as a whole with what you saw out there at Eugene?
I think we have a great team going forward down to Rio. I mean, we go from men and women. We go from 16-year-olds to 41-year-olds. But I think everybody that competed at the trials showed up and competed well, and I think we'll go down to Rio and do the same.
Raven and Gwen, just talk about if you're going to be able to take any family down there and what it would be like to have family at the Olympics supporting you.
Well, right now, currently, I'm trying to raise money for my mom, my sister, and my aunt and my uncle. They're all trying to come down. So hopefully, if all of that works out well, my mom says regardless of whatever it is, she's going to be down there. So having family will mean so much to me, seeing as, you know, they've been there from my first little meet in the backyard, freshman year of high school, to now the biggest stage of all track and field. So that means so much. And my younger sister, now being a thrower, she'll be able to come watch me and see what her future may have in store if she just keeps, you know, working and pushing forward.
Yeah, to feed off Raven, most definitely I am going to try to start a GoFundMe page to raise money for my family to go. The Olympics is really expensive. You got to think, when you go overseas, you know, they raise prices for everything there just because they know, you know, it's such a great demand. So having your family there really can change the athlete's performance because, you know, they have that home with them. And, you know, you always compete well at home, so having a little taste of home with you when you go over there to a, you know, third world country, I mean, it's priceless. So it's really important to get family and friends, you know, and support and, you know, funds and money to help athletes compete to their best abilities. So.
For Raven and Gwen, I would assume all your career you wanted to be an Olympian. Was there one moment, like earlier on, you thought it was a realistic goal for you?
I knew it was a realistic goal for me. Probably 2 months into training here with my new training partners, actually student athletes here who have a little bit more experience than me in my event. He told me that, you know, with what we were working on and what he was trying to have me do, him and coach both, you know, what they were trying to have me do, that, you know, I could break the American record. I didn't believe it at the time, you know, because it was still indoor season. But, you know, as I started going farther and farther, I definitely knew that I could be an Olympian and probably have the potential to medal at this Olympic Games. So that's what I'm focused on.
For me, it was probably around last summer after how my freshman year went and seeing how much more I had to improve on. And I knew that, you know, coming down to Ole Miss and having, you know, a little bit more resources, that I was going to be capable of a lot more. And from every practice, you know, going in, maybe Gwen could probably vouch for this, I was going in super hyped. And I mean, this is like September, and I'm screaming about going to the Olympics, you know, every throw, just getting really hyped thinking about it. So for me, it was definitely last summer.
Yeah. We have some pretty hype and fun weightlifting sessions and throwing sessions.
Here's a question maybe for all three of you. As African American women, you know, there's a lot of kind of social unrest going on right now. Do you see this as a platform maybe for African American women? Do you even think about that at all? Just kind of what are your thoughts about that?
I think about it. I mean, it's not really like, you know, I mean, I don't know how to say it. It's a good platform to feel young African American females because there's not a lot of young African American females in the sports. You know, you see Serena, you know, you see, you know, a couple of basketball stars, but there's really not a lot of African American females that are highly represented in sports. Maybe, you know, 2 or 3 that the kids know about. So bringing more kids into the sport may keep more kids off the street, may prevent, you know, more younger kids, you know, getting pregnant at a young age and having to be mothers and not fulfilling their dreams. So, I mean, it really says a lot that we are here, but I mean, I think we speak for the whole country as far as, you know, wanting to represent America in a best positive way. Not just for African American females, but from males to, you know, Caucasian. It really doesn't matter.
Pretty much. pretty much what she said. My thing has always been trying to reach back to, you know, kids in my community or kids that reach out to me, is telling them, you know, look at where I came from, because there's still kids at my high school who I went to school with, while being back at there, and I'm like, you guys saw me where I was, when I was struggling and didn't really have much, and look at where I am. This can be you, regardless of your circumstances and your situations. If you stay determined and you have a goal in mind and you work for it, anything can happen.
Yeah.
Any other questions from anybody? Thank y'all for your time.
All right.
Thank you.